From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, January the 8th, 2018. The White House today announced details of U.S. Vice President Mike Pence's expected Israel visit this month. Pence, who had to postpone the trip several times, will leave Washington on January the 19th for Egypt, Jordan, and then Israel. Pence will first meet with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in Cairo, and then with King Abdullah II in Amman, before he travels to Israel, where he will spend 2 days, January the 22nd and 23rd, which are expected to include a sit-down with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who will just have returned from his visit to India days before. Pence will also meet with Israeli President Reuven Rivlin and deliver a speech to the Knesset, visit the Western Wall in Jerusalem, and visit Israel's Holocaust Memorial in the city Yad Vashem. Spokesperson for the Vice President, Alyssa Farah, said Pence will travel to the Middle East to reaffirm our commitment to work with the U.S.'s allies in the region to defeat radicalism that threatens future generations. She added that the Vice President was looking forward to meeting with the leaders of Egypt, Jordan, and Israel to discuss ways to work together to fight terrorism and improve our national security. Israeli border police officers detained a Palestinian woman outside of the Tomb of the Patriarchs in the West Bank city of Hebron today. A police spokesperson said the woman raised the suspicions of the officers, who searched her bag and found a knife. And Israel's security agency, the Shin Bet, announced the indictment today of 2 Bedouin Israeli teenage girls on charges that they were planning to carry out an attack on behalf of the Islamic State terror group. 19-year-olds Rahma al-Assad and Tasnin al-Assad were said to have been planning a terror attack in Israel on New Year's Eve. They were also charged with contacting a foreign agent, referring to their reaching out to members of the IS, and joining an illegal organization. The IDF spokesperson's unit published data for 2017 yesterday, specifically on the rocket attacks on Israel from Gaza over the past year, which, according to the statistics, saw a significant rise from previous years. A total of 35 rockets were said to have been launched at Israel in 2017, the highest since the end of Operation Protective Edge in 2014. In 2016, there were 15 rocket attacks, and in 2015, 21. One spike in rocket incidents last year was seen in late October after the IDF discovered and destroyed a terror tunnel built by terror group Islamic Jihad that infiltrated Israel from Gaza, and a second spike after the U.S. recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital. French President Emmanuel Macron led a ceremony in Paris yesterday remembering 17 terror victims, including Jewish shoppers at a kosher supermarket in the city. Yesterday marked 3 years since the beginning of a 3-day terror spree in the city, which included the murders of 11 people at the offices of the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo, and on January the 9th, 4 Jewish hostages were murdered at the Hypercacher kosher supermarket. Macron laid a wreath at the former offices of the magazine yesterday, and a similar ceremony was held outside the kosher store as well. A delegation from Bahrain visited Israel last month. It was a rare gesture by representatives from an Arab country without any diplomatic relations with Israel. The 24 participants included religious leaders from the Gulf Kingdom, among them Sunni and Shiite Muslims, Buddhists, Christians, Hindus, and Sikhs. The delegation was invited to Israel by the Simon Wiesenthal Center. They were all from the non-governmental organization called This is Bahrain, saying that they were carrying with them a message of peace from the King of Bahrain, Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. Well, the Golden Globe Awards were held last night in Beverly Hills, and among the winners, the Jewish-themed series The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. The Amazon Studios show won Best Television Series Comedy, and its star, Rachel Brosnahan, took home the Best Actress Award for a TV comedy series. Brosnahan and other members of the cast were recently interviewed by JBS President Mark Golub, and we will replay that program for you this Thursday evening at 5 p.m. Eastern. And of course, you can also catch the interviews up on our website, jbstv.org. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS from Monday, January the 8th at 7 o'clock, it's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth. At 7:30, students speak about advocating for Israel on college campuses. At 8, National Director Emeritus of the Anti-Defamation League, Abe Foxman, sits down with Samantha Power to talk about her experience as former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. That's from the Museum of Jewish Heritage in New York City. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Rabbi Stuart Weinblatt, author of Living in the Shadow of Death. He talks about his experience with cancer on L'chaim. At 10, Rabbi Harold Kushner, author of When Bad Things Happen to Good People, speaks with Rabbi Rachel Cowan on what it means to live a good life. That's with Rabbi Peter Rubenstein of the 92nd Street Y. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Dershowitz answers questions on one-on-one. And that's the JBS News Update from Monday, January the 8th, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader.